$818 million just went into XRP in the last 24 hours. That's almost half of all the $1.9 billion spent on crypto in Korea. This is crazy, and it shows a big change where we're starting to see lots of people using crypto, including big banks like JP Morgan Chase in America, which officially said they started accepting payments in XRP. But this shouldn't surprise us because we're seeing huge money companies in America really move towards XRP, including JP Morgan and also BlackRock. Actually, in a secret report posted on October 17th, 2025, that many of you probably didn't see because it was hidden, BlackRock and JP Morgan have been quietly buying XRP all along and have been hiding it in their money records. Yes, it turns out these huge companies that have been basically pushing for the XRP ETF and for the Ethereum ETF and the Bitcoin ETF, turns out these guys are actually very excited about XRP and are even buying XRP behind the scenes without actually telling everyone so. To the point that we actually got Donald Trump, the United States president, actually sign a law that is set to unlock trillions of dollars in the USA economy and in American cryptocurrencies. And it's all backed by these huge money companies, these rich money institutions like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. This is so big because XRP is the #1 American cryptocurrency. And well, this project, this huge institution that is called RealFi, is actually unlocking $654 trillion on the XRP ledger all at the same time. And of course, when we talk about XRP, we got to understand that at that size, right? We're talking about billions, if not trillions of dollars going into the XRP ledger. It could really cross $2,500. I mean, quite easily we could see a price per XRP at over $2,500. And so, before we get into the details, because this is backed by facts and we have actual sources that make it clear for you guys that this will happen, and we've actually uploaded every single person watching today's video some free XRP, or in fact up to $100 for you to buy some free XRP with. And with XRP priced at $2.96, you can get yourself a huge bag. And all you have to do is literally like the video, subscribe to the channel with your bell notifications, share this video, and most importantly, sign up for Uphold using my link in the description and do a transaction. Now, the whole process takes less than 5 minutes. Again, it's literally free money. So, I definitely recommend it. And with that being said, I recommend you tell your friends and family. Get yourself that free XRP. And let's get right into the video. Now, everything is important to highlight the fact that world banks are moving into the XRP ledger. But this one world bank, this one institution is literally about to take XRP from $3 to over $3,000 and is called SWIFT. SWIFT is being replaced. Yes, XRP is being looked at to replace the entire SWIFT system in the United States of America. A huge $1.25 quadrillion market, which clearly proves could make XRP shoot past $3 almost instantly. And while Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's own CEO, literally said that it will happen and predicted that Bitcoin will reach 200,000, but that XRP's market cap will beat it by a lot in payment use. And that means that we will, or we when I say we mean XRP will cost more than Bitcoin in possibly weeks. This is the size that we're talking about. And so I'm going to play the clip because I think it's very important that you guys listen to it. Yeah, so what's affecting the price of XRP has been the SEC. People forget honestly before the SEC got involved in the crypto markets. XRP was the second most valuable digital asset ahead of ETH. And then the SEC got involved and said, hey, we think ETH is probably okay. And ETH went up. And then they sued Ripple and XRP went down. You know, this is not how our government is supposed to work. We're supposed to have a fair playing field and have, equal opportunity. We shouldn't have our government picking winners and losers in this way that we think in the long run will win and, that'll sort itself out. But for now, it's frustrating for the community. And I like the way you describe it for the XRP family. This is going to sound really crazy. Think XRP will replace meme tokens in the next cycle. And what I mean by that is that's where all the money went in, right? What is your price guess for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end. I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think 200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people don't realize how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility to tailwinds. And what is your price guess for XRP? XRP and how well XRP does compared with Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin today, as was said earlier, Bitcoin in many ways has been a successful experiment, but not when it comes to payments. The speed of Bitcoin, both in terms of confirming a transaction, often can take an hour that I think is said earlier. You're not going to use Bitcoin to buy coffee unless you want to wait there an hour for it to confirm the transaction, and then the transaction cost would be pretty high. So your Bitcoin, and so you really have to understand that this unlock is so big for XRP that again, it would cause it to literally shoot up to $3,000. And now we have more news that even more money is going to flow, including Donald Trump signing that law. And most importantly, a huge institution known as RealFi is set to unlock over $650 trillion global real estate market on towards the XRP ledger. And the billions of dollars have already begun entering the XRP ledger. In fact, only a couple days ago, RealFi announced that they've unlocked over 10,000 plus properties valued at over $2 billion across homes and business real estate in 50 plus locations worldwide. Now, this is huge because again, you can literally buy these real estate using the XRP ledger via the Real token, which is built on XRPL, meaning if you have XRP, you can change it to Real token and then buy and trade on the XRP ledger, which is huge because again, real world things now are on the XRPL, and this is only just getting started. I mean, take a look at what they posted just 48 hours ago. It says over the past months, we've introduced the RealFi payment solution and the RealFi asset marketplace, both entirely built on the XRP ledger and powered by Real token. In just a few days, we will first finish the Phase 1 and begin Phase 2 of the RealFi ecosystem focused on world adoption and integration of our technologies. And with the Real token at the center of the next stage, the future of real estate and payment is speeding up and RealFi is leading the way. Now, this is huge because it said something big is coming. But you got to understand the size that we are looking at right now. We are talking about the XRP helping basically all of the money. This includes Swift and the real estate industry, and Real token is really leading that path. Of course, a couple $100 trillion are going to come from the payment sector, and a couple $100 trillion are probably going to come from RealFi helping the entire real estate, system and the world industry onto the XRP ledger. And if you take a look at the Real token, I'm very excited about Real token. You guys have probably heard me before, but this is something that really caught my attention. Take a look at this, guys. This is the Real token. Has very, very low resistance, very strong support. This thing is REA. DY to do a major breakout. Now, we've talked about them before, and guys, they continue to rise in price. You got to be looking at the Real token. This thing is going to make generational wealth, in my personal opinion. It's huge, huge, huge. On top of this, Real token has literally received a 100% score, and look at it on the daily, guys. Up 4%. This is a great chart because we are getting ready for the biggest breakout we've ever seen. I truly, truly see this. I'm expecting a couple hundred per Real token. There's a lot of analysts and experts. Don't even take my words, but look at these analysts and experts, which I'll show you guys shortly. But a lot of them predicting actually that if Real token helps only 1% of the world real estate market that it's projected to actually do, which is $650 trillion, then it would shoot up to $64,500. That is the size, guys. Going from 3 cents to $65,000, meaning every $10,000 would make you a multimillionaire. And this is what we're talking about when you talk about huge scale potential, huge usefulness. And this is very rare to find, guys. You almost never find a useful project that is on the XRP ledger and has all the good things, guys. It's backed by a multi-million/multi-billion dollar institution, possibly even partnered with Ripple. All of these are at the Real token, and it's very, very early. Not many people know about it, which is why it's not growing, which is why it's not sitting at, 100 to 3 for $100 at least. Again, it started about 2 months ago, and it went from 1/100 of a penny to 3 cents. So imagine that people made hundreds of thousands of percentages. But now it is going to go into the hundreds and thousands of dollars. And it's received a 10 out of 10 score, meaning it's very exciting. Top 3 holders are low risk. The score is 100%. It's 100% KYC because KYC is verified. Again, 100%. Total wallets are 3,242, guys. Just yesterday we were talking about it, and they were sitting at 3,100. Guys, this is where the money is flowing. And if you're not looking at it and you're not seeing it, the XRP ledger is moving all of that money, and it's moving it a lot quicker than anybody's expected. And we got to thank RealFi for doing that, because RealFi is unlocking